Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Dr. Regina Hernandez Show. I am Dr. Regina Hernandez, and the purpose of this podcast is to provide a platform to support teachers and engage community members in authentic dialogue about public education. This episode is about teachers using their personal finances to purchase basic living necessities and materials for their students. To discuss this topic, I have Frank Mendoza as the guest for this episode. Mr. Mendoza is a loan officer and lives in a trendy Austin neighborhood along South 1st Street. The topic of teachers personally financing their classrooms came up as we were discussing district areas and boundaries. Frank authentically vocalizes an increasing public awareness of teachers using their personal finances to pay for basically teaching students when there are federal funds specifically designated for this criteria. Hello, Frank. Will you please catch us up with what you were just sharing about teachers spending their own money for their students' needs?
Well, at the barber shop, there's a barber whose wife is a teacher, and she does teach special education. And he was just talking about how she had to come out of pocket every semester to purchase these supplies for these kids. And again, it just doesn't make any sense when it seems like there's plenty of money and they got to come out of their pocket for school supplies and whatnot. So that's not the first time I heard it. Was with someone in the past, and they would bring that same information home as well. And I met plenty of other teachers who say the same thing. So it's pretty prevalent in terms of teachers having to come out of pocket to buy supplies for the kids.
Do these teachers ever talk about going into debt buying these supplies? Or do they get the money to purchase whatever's needed by the student?
They take it out of their own account, and I don't even think it's written off or anything of that nature. They just typically take it out of their own account. They don't get any type of extra funds for it, and they have to do it every semester. So they don't necessarily go into debt, but it's something that I don't think that they should be having to do.
Do you know how long these teachers have been teaching?
Well, one of them has been teaching 3 years plus, and then the other one has been teaching for 1.5 years, but was a teacher assistant at a alternative school for several years, and would tell me all kinds of stories about what's going on with the faculty and all the stuff that they have to go through, not just dealing with the parents of the kids, but also dealing with the administration.
Why do you think these individuals stay in the teaching profession?
Ultimately, it's for the kids. That's the one constant variable, is that they want to be there for the kids. And they'll get cursed at, they'll get yelled at, and that'll happen over and over and over, and ultimately they just want to be there for the kids. But it gets to the point, I think, where if that goes on forever or for quite a while, then what happens is the teachers want to end up moving to a different profession, and then the kids lose out on those teachers, and that's just not a good thing.
Thank you, Frank. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we finish this?
Sure. I'm a loan officer at a local company, have been there for 5.5 years. Was pretty much raised by my mom and our extended family. Lived half my life in Cali and most of it in Texas. And to me, family is everything. And I love the Spurs.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and what area of Austin do you live in?
I'm lucky enough to live in the 04.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Frank, for sharing your thoughts and taking the time to join us. This leads to questions of how long can a Title I teacher sustain this type of lifestyle in Austin or a city similar to Austin? What makes this practice acceptable in our society for Title I teachers to use their own salary to fund student learning and basic living? Thanks, everyone, for taking the time to join us. You can send topic suggestions to reginahernandezconsulting@gmail.com, and feel free to check out my website at www.reginahernandezconsulting.com to learn more about my services as a teacher, coach, and education consultant. I appreciate you and love you. Bye.